This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and welcome to an episode of Player Gears today, where we are actually talking about LeBron James and that fake LeBron 17 that Nike's selling us. Let's get right into it. Alright, we'll get straight into it, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe down below. Today, I don't want to beat around the bush. The LeBron 17 essentially is a fake knockoff shoe from Nike. So before I get into the deep point, I do want to shed some light on the history of it. About 6 years ago with the LeBron 11, before that, it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, LeBron didn't really have anything to do with his shoes. They make it, they gave it to him, he played in it, whatever. The LeBron 11 was the first shoe. When they brought him the shoe, he didn't play in it that whole season. He had, I think it was like 17 games of an 82-game season, didn't wear it at all in the playoffs, and mostly wore his soldiers. Definitely a bad look for Nike, even though it was actually a good shoe, but it wasn't good for him, and I'm sure minor adjustments, changes could have been made so he could enjoy it, but he would have to be more involved. Now, I don't know when it came around, but the Nike Research Lab, Science and Research Lab, who actually was a lot more involved with the LeBron 12, where LeBron dived in and became more active in what his shoes were and how they performed and how they could actually help him, that they weren't just anything you throw on your feet. So fast forward, throughout the years, they've made some minor changes. I know LeBron 15, they actually added the outsole, eventually what we got on the LeBron 16. So they have made changes. He has been actively involved. So the shoes that he wears, he's not just putting on whatever. They make a difference and he has input. So the LeBron 17, why am I saying that we're getting a fake shoe? Well, it has been reported, and I'll post the Twitter picture here, that LeBron James is wearing an entirely new mold for his shoe that, although it looks similar, is $1 million expenditure from Nike. So why are they spending $1 million? All right, so this is not $1 million on each pair of his shoes. This is $1 million because they had to come up with an all-new mold with an all-new size, pressure, and measurements for the entire tooling of the midsole. So the airbag is a lot less tall. It's shorter, probably has more PSI, so it's more stable. The zoom bags in a forefoot look a little bit bigger, closer to what we got on the Alpha Fly. They actually have a lot less foam. It's probably a different foam content as well. All in all, a massively different shoe than what we are getting as the public. Now, when you buy a signature shoe, I know in general, one, you buy because maybe you support your athlete. Two, you buy because, it looks pretty good. But three, you're buying because as a regular person, coming from a guy in Chicago who's been a Jordan fan, who has every single Jordan from the one, you want to be like Mike. And I'm not saying I want to be like LeBron or be like Kyrie, but you want to use a shoe that is a sliver, a portion of what makes those athletes so great. And for LeBron 17, Nike is just completely robbing us. And when you talk about fake shoes, and that's why I'm calling this a fake shoe, is usually the cushion. So companies can knock off a shoe however they want. They can generally make it look really close, but getting the cushion right, getting how it feels, is a totally different story. Now, I've had a few fakes where I wasn't aware of until I put them on, and you immediately know. So if a Chinese company were to knock off a LeBron 17 to get the air unit to feel like how it should, and the zoom units and how it looks, is actually pretty hard. And if they did it, it wouldn't be the right dimensions, it wouldn't feel the same. So it's a pretty hard shoe for them to copy. Now, I say that with complete respect to the Chinese company out there, because Peak, Anta, Li-Ning, if I'm forgetting any, they make some amazing shoes, and actually all three companies are making some of the most comfortable foam-based cushions out there. So the LeBron 17 that we are getting, if you were to go to your House of Hoops, your Champs, your Finish Line, they are actually a completely different air unit, a completely different zoom structure, a completely different architecture of how the shoe feels. And not to mention, I would love to see the feeling LeBron had when he first put that on into what he's wearing now. And he had so many changes, they literally had to make a whole different tooling. Now, my predictions are two things. One, I think because they already invested so much money in improving it, and obviously LeBron's performing well in it, so I do want to try what he's wearing. Because having an air unit that's closer to the ground, that has more PSI so you feel more stable, having a zoom unit in the forefoot that you can feel more, that's bouncier, having a better transition, all of those are good things. It should be an amazing shoe. So it's disappointing that we got the 17 that we got. Now, for all the reviewers out there who are saying it's a comfortable shoe, if you're coming from wearing dress shoes in a cubicle all day or wearing Chuck Taylors casually and you put it on, yeah, it's a comfortable shoe. But compared to anything else on the market, it's not that comfortable for what it should be for the $200. And Nike is really ripping us off. It is probably the worst value and least recommended shoe I could tell anybody. Second to only, you know what, not even second, it's first. First was the Nike Alpha Dunk. LeBron 17 is worse. I cannot see anybody, for any reason, really preferring LeBron 17 to any of the options we have out there. And I'm going to give you guys some different options, just so if you do want something with max cushion and max support, the 17 is not going to do the job, but I'm going to show you a couple different options that will. All right, starting with the LeBron 16. See right here, you can still get them at great deals, and they are a better shoe in every single way. The only caveat is if you have a narrow heel. And I don't know what percentage of the population has a narrow heel. If that's you, you may have to double sock and or go down half a size to down a full size. Doing those two things in general alleviates any possible issue you may have. Other than that, better traction, better cushion, better materials, everything. The LeBron 17 maybe has slightly better containment, but even then that's close. The 16 is a better shoe altogether. But if you go to a school, you're in AAU, you're in a high school, college where they're sponsoring, you're a Nike athlete, you have to buy Nike. You can't wear last year's version. I understand that, even though it's a better shoe. The other shoe I'd recommend for a max cushion, max support is actually going to be a takedown model. That's the Nike Zoom Rise. This thing has a giant zoom pad in the forefoot that you can feel immediately. The heel cushion, the foam is actually really nice. The transition is a lot better. The flexibility, it's still on the stiffer side. It's a bigger shoe, but it flexes and it does start to mold to your foot and kind of work with you and break in where that upper and the bottom really starts to move with you. Now, this is a takedown model of the Alpha Dunk, but it is better in every way, from the traction to the materials used to the cushion setup and how it's implemented. If you're a big man and you can see kind of this outer shell wrapping around, that you really feel the heel cup, you really feel support in the shoe. I'll have a full review kind of touching base with this and doing a comparison, but the Zoom Rise is your big man high cushion max support option. Guys, check this out. If you're looking at the LeBron 17, I can definitely say it's better in pretty much every way. All right, before we're done here, I did want to talk about LeBron slipping, where Evan Turner dropped him. And I want you to think about that sentence. Evan Turner dropping LeBron. That doesn't even sound right. That's not even the right universe. But his shoes, the LeBron 17, that traction is not trustworthy. Watch Nightwing review and his and the wear testers. He had the same issue. How LeBron got dropped, I almost got dropped wearing those shoes in the same thing. Some guy tried to do a move just like that, except I wasn't playing as hard defense as LeBron is. If you're going really hard, that shoe slips, you're going down. That happened to me, and after that point, I was not playing that hard on defense because I just didn't trust the shoe. Didn't trust the support laterally, didn't trust the traction. So pretty much, I just laid off the guy and gave him whatever jumpers he could try to make. But hopefully for LeBron's shoe, they do change the traction as the year goes on, because I don't know if there's a wet spot, because he fell exactly how a shoe would react when it just completely loses grip. So that could be a wet spot. All right, give it there. Or it could be the traction, how I see it and how it's performed in my view. So hopefully they modify that traction and maybe we get an elite version for the playoffs. But if it happens to LeBron again and again, I know he's going to be asking Nike to change it, because if he's playing his heart out on defense this year like he wasn't last year, he's going to need a shoe that's going to keep up with him. And the tooling in the 17 that he's playing in is obviously doing way more than what we got as general public. In fact, LeBron, guys, send this to him. Show him I would love LeBron. Can you go to your local House of Hoops or Foot Locker or get a general release pair directly from Nike and compare what you're wearing to the pair that we're getting, because I think they're entirely different. And if I'm wrong, fine guys, but honestly what we're getting is that fake knockoff stuff. So Nike, you got to do better, because there's plenty of other shoes that you're doing amazing stuff on, and LeBron 17 is just not it. Alright, if you like that video, give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. Hit me in the comments below. We will have some comparisons coming out shortly with the Zoom Rise, with the Jumpman 2020, with the New Balance Omni, comparing it to the Kobe FF. I do want to have a more comparison on that. But guys, if you can tell my voice, I have been sick for a little bit. Really appreciate your patience. If you're looking for the Sneaker Gears Velocity insoles, we just put up our new website. So if you checked out the website and it wasn't live, it is live. It is ready to go. As always, really appreciate you guys. This is Levi Sneaker Gears, and I'll come at you later.